Hello, my name is Kay, and in today's yoga practice, we will be doing a joint freeing series. It's a beginner yoga practice, and sometimes we find that the pain that we have in our body is associated with a joint, like shoulders and elbows, wrists, ankles. And the purpose of this practice will be to release any pent up energy there, help the fluids to move through the body for healing. And I believe that's about it. Let's start some music here. And we'll get started. First of all, just ground down through your sits bones. Let's find a comfortable seated position. This may mean that you are sitting on a block or a blanket or possibly a bolster. We won't be here too long, but we would like to be comfortable all the way through this practice. So starting from the top of our head, we're going to begin with working with the neck, bringing the chin to the chest, slowly letting the head be heavy. And as the head moves down, the chin comes in closer to the chest. As we do this, we feel an opening through the back of the head, through the neck, possibly down into the shoulders, and maybe down in the spine. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, bring your gaze back to center. Looking up at the ceiling, inhaling up. Let your head drop back, feeling an opening through the front of the body, through the front of the jaw, through the throat, front of the shoulders, and maybe down into the chest. Inhale, bring your gaze back to center. Check in with your body. Make sure that your spine is long and straight. Check in with those shoulders to see if they are comfortable and relaxed. Letting your hands be relaxed as well. Let's do that again, chin to chest. Moving slowly. Inhale, bringing your gaze back to center. And then looking up at the ceiling. Feeling the opening in the back of the body, through the neck, the shoulders, and the head. And also, as we're looking up, we're going to feel an opening in the front of the throat. As we're doing this, only move as far as is comfortable for you in your body. If you come across a place that is a little bit stiff or tense, you could slow down and spend some time there, and never force your body to move to a point where you're finding pain or stress. This is a gentle practice. Let's do it one more time, chin to chest. Gaze back through center, and then looking up at the ceiling. And then bringing your gaze forward once again. Take a breath here. Let's take our right ear to our right shoulder. Moving the stretch from the front and the back to the sides of the neck. Check in with the shoulders. They have a tendency to take on the stress. Bring your gaze back to center and let your left ear go over to your left shoulder. Keeping your head aligned with your shoulders. You don't want your head to be falling to the back or to the front. So ear in line with the shoulder. Bringing your head back up to center. Let's do that a couple more times, moving at your own pace. And like I said, if you find a place where you're feeling some tension or some stress, take it easy there, move slower there, maybe take a few breaths there. And as you breathe into that space, you might find that you're able to move a little bit further into the stretch, but never forcing your body to go further than it feels good. Sometimes in our mind, we tell ourselves, you can go further, you need to go further to get all of the benefit. It's not necessarily true. Listen to your body and let go of all the thoughts in your mind. And then bring your gaze back to center. Putting those two movements together, we're going to be making a big circle with our neck and our head. So starting out chin to chest. Relax the shoulders, sit up straight, let the head be heavy. Right ear rolls to right shoulder. Nose rolls toward the ceiling. Left ear to left shoulder. And then chin comes into the chest. Just moving at your own pace. And like I said, listening to your body. You might hear some popping in the neck, and that's normal. And when you feel like it's time to change directions, stop with your chin at your chest. Relax your shoulders, sit up straight, and then move in the opposite direction. Maybe adding the breath, you could exhale as you move down through the center. Inhale as you come up and around. And let's do that one more time. Complete rotation. And then bring your chin to your chest. And bring your gaze back to center. Lift those shoulders up towards your ears. And then let them relax. Lift them up and let them drop. Lift them up. Let them drop. One more time. Let's roll those shoulders forward, up towards the ears, and back down the back body. Forward, up, and down. You might get some popping in different joints in your body. I just felt the popping in my spine. But that's what happens when we're aware of the body. When we calm the mind, connect with the breath, and just be right here, right now, in this body that you were blessed with. All right, for the rest of the practice, we're actually going to be laying on our backs. So moving lengthwise on your mat, gently lowering yourself down onto the mat. Feeling gravity pull your body down into the mat. Taking a deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Let's do that again. Deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Now we worked a lot on our neck and we're moving into the shoulders. We did a little shoulders, but there's a lot more to do. So bringing your fingers up toward the ceiling, palms facing each other. Take your mind and your awareness into your shoulders and let your shoulders be heavy and relax down onto the mat. You might find as they're relaxing onto the mat, your hands move further away from each other. Take your awareness to your right shoulder. Pick the right shoulder up off the mat. Move it as high as it goes comfortably, and then slowly set that shoulder back down on the mat. Same thing with the left. Pick the left shoulder up off the mat. Reach it up as far as it goes comfortably, and then set it back down. And we're going to continue to alternate between the right and the left, making sure that that right shoulder is settled on the mat before you move the left shoulder up. Two different shoulders, two separate parts of the body, doing the same movement but at different times. Let's do that one more time with each shoulder. And then relax both shoulders onto the mat. Check in with the rest of your body. Make sure that you're comfortable. You might have to do some wiggling around to find that spot. Take the palms of your hands and face them toward your knees. On an exhale, palms move down toward the hips, keeping the arms long. Inhale, bringing the hands back up through center, the back of the hands falling up above the head toward the floor. Maybe touching the floor, maybe not. Inhale, hands come back to center. Palm of the hands move down by the hips. Keeping your awareness and your mind in your body, in your shoulders. Letting the hands fall up above the head. It's not required that they even touch the floor. This is about the shoulders and range of motion in the shoulders. Let's do this one more time. Hands to the hips. Hands up through center and over the head. And this time, stop your hands at the top. Settle in. Do some little movements so that you can be comfortable. Reverse the hands so that the palms are facing towards your face. We will repeat the same movement. This time the back of the hands come down by the hips. They come back up through center. The palm of the hands go up above the head, reaching toward the floor. Inhale up through center. Exhale, back of the hands by the hips. You might notice that you have one shoulder or one hand that moves easier than the other. And my suggestion would be that you keep both of your hands even. Don't force the shoulder that has a little bit more trouble moving to move in the same way that the healthy shoulder moves. Keep them both the same. Eventually, through a practice, you might find that you can gain equality between those two shoulders. Maybe and maybe not, but it's worth the try to do the practice. Let's stop our hands back at the ceiling again. Bend those elbows and bring them straight out and land them on the floor. Palms are facing toward the bottom of the mat. Rotate the palms down toward the floor. Bring them back through center. Back of the hands rotate and land up toward the ears. And as with the other movement, We may or we may not touch the floor with our hands as we rotate them back and forth. Be gentle with your body. Be conscious of what you feel in the body, moving slowly. Seeing where you have sensation in the body as you do the movement. Where is it in your shoulders? Perhaps you feel it in your back, maybe in your chest. Keep your mind in your body. And bring those hands back to center. Let's bring them down, palms toward the ceiling, and just relax for a second. Stretch those legs out long. Take a breath and soften the entire body. Couple more breaths. Now we're moving from the shoulders into the elbows. If you'd like, you can keep your legs out long on the mat, or you can bring your feet back, soles of the feet back onto the mat. Take your right hand up towards the ceiling. Bring the left hand on the upper part of the arm for support. Palm of the hand is facing the face. We're going to slowly and gently rotate or bring that palm of the hand down toward the shoulder, and then bring it back up, straightening out the elbow and bending the elbow. Straightening the elbow and bending the elbow. Scan your body. Relax every muscle that you can. And let the only movement be in the elbow. And then bringing the hand back up to center. This time, instead of moving slowly, we are just going to let that palm fall down toward the shoulder. So you bring your hand up, let go of all control, and let it fall. Think about opening up space in that elbow joint. Think about releasing energy or fascia that might be caught in that elbow, and creating a healing space. Let's do that a couple more times. All right, then let go with both of your hands. Relax those shoulders, relax the entire body again. Take a breath. Bring the left hand up towards the ceiling, supporting it with the right hand on the upper part of the arm. Palm, once again, is toward the top of the mat. Gently lowering that hand down toward the shoulder, and then bringing it back up. Straightening the elbow and bending the elbow. Maybe checking in to make sure that that elbow is directly above the shoulder. If that's possible, if that works in your body. And if it's uncomfortable to have that elbow over the shoulder, you may move it towards the waist a little bit. Or experimenting, finding that place where you can be comfortable as you go through the motions of the elbow. Bringing the hand back up. This time releasing that hand, letting it fall down and tapping yourself on the shoulder. The visual I like to use for this is like Pinocchio and the puppeteer. He brings the hand up and then he releases the string. So that's kind of what you should be doing with your hand. One more time. And then release your whole body. Let everything relax. Now we're moving from our elbows down into our wrists. So bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Right hand, the palm faces the ceiling. Left hand is going to gently rest on the fingers of the right hand. We're opening up, or we feel sensation maybe in the front of this hand, the palm of the hand, and the inside of the wrist. So gently, not too much pressure, not pushing, just the weight of the hand is probably enough. And if you need more, perhaps you bring your hand a little bit further out on the fingers. And maybe you bend the elbow a little bit, maybe you keep it straight. Find what fits best for you and your body. Now we're taking the left hand, grabbing a hold of the pinky finger with your pointer finger and gently pulling it back toward the wrist. Moving from that pinky finger to the ring finger, gently pulling with that pointer finger, and then just noticing the change as you move from finger to finger. And don't forget the thumb, pulling it back towards the wrist. Now we're taking the right hand and we're pushing the palm down toward, we're just flipping it from hand towards the ceiling, so hand toward the floor. And now we're creating a stretch in the back of the wrists and in the back of the palm. And gently taking that left hand and letting it rest on the back of the palm or the hand or down towards the end of the fingers. Experimenting to see where you find the best stretch. And there's also a possibility that you don't feel much sensation at all, and that's okay. Sometimes we think that if we don't feel a lot, then it's not doing any good, and that's not necessarily true. Moving through the practice, whatever the feelings are always good for us. All right, now let's switch our hands. Palm of the left hand towards the ceiling. Right hand gently resting on the fingers, pulling those fingers back toward the wrist or to the forearm. Experimenting with where you can find comfort here. Check in with your shoulder to see if it's relaxed. Maybe you bend that elbow a little bit. Make it be what your body needs. Taking your awareness to the palm of your hand, to the inside of your wrist. Now taking the pointer finger of the right hand and gently pulling the pointer finger of the left hand back toward the forearm. Moving from that pointer finger to the middle finger, all the way through all of those fingers. And remembering the thumb. And then releasing that, flipping your hand over so that the palm is toward the floor, taking your right hand, resting it on the back of the left hand. Maybe moving it down to the fingers, finding a place where you feel the desired sensation in your body. The goal is to find stretch in the back of the wrist and the back of the hand. All right, releasing that. Let's kind of shake out our hands here. And then we have one more thing to do with our wrists. We're going to take our hands and open them up wide. Take the palms, take the thumbs into the palm of the finger, and the rest of the fingers wrap around the thumb. We're keeping our hands in line with the shoulders, and we're just going to rotate those wrists around. Going in one direction and then reversing, and going in the other direction. And let your hands relax. Let's come back up into a seated position, rolling onto your side, coming into easy pose. We're moving up into the hips. And we're doing some hip circles here. So relaxing down into your hips. We're going to move around to the right side and then toward the front, back to the left, and up again. We're just making a big circle with the torso opening up in the hips. And you might find that you find a place that is tight or that needs a little bit more time. So you might stop and just breathe in to that place of tension or pain. And then continuing on. Exhaling as you come down, inhaling back up. Exhaling down, inhaling up. Exhaling down, and inhaling up, coming to stillness at the top. Take a breath. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms. And then we'll do that going in the other direction. So moving around to the other side, coming back through center, and up and around. Exhaling down, inhaling up, making sure that you're not moving too quickly. Sometimes we just go through the motions. It's like, okay, I'm going to do hip circles. Let's get this over with so that I can move on to the next thing. But if you can move slowly, bring your awareness into your body. Just be right here on your mat in this place right now, not anywhere else. A couple more times. And then back to center. All right, let's move back down onto our backs again. We still have some things we can do with our hips. So bringing both of the knees in toward the chest. Give yourself a little hug here and maybe rock back and forth, feeling that nice sensation in the lower back. And then coming back through center. We're going to do some more hip circles, but in a different way. So bringing our hands onto our knees, let's separate the hips out wide. One hip to the right, one to the left. Rotate them down towards the bottom of the mat. Bring the knees back to center, and then bring them back to the chest. So hips out in opposite direction, knees out in opposite directions. Roll them down, bring them back together, and bring them back to the chest. If you would like to challenge your core a little bit more, you can remove your hands from your knees and do this just with the legs. You might feel a little bit more challenge in the core than you do with your hands on your knees. Either way is totally fine. And if removing your hands causes stress in your mind and your body, bring them back. We're not about finding the hardest challenge that we can do today. We're about opening up the joints in the body. All right, bring your knees back to the chest again. Reversing that, let's push the knees away from the body, out in opposite directions, and then back into the chest. So we're doing the same movement, just reversing the directions. And once again, hands can be on the knees for a little bit of support, or taking them off for a little bit more of a challenge. Let's do that 2 more times. Knees back to the chest, rock back and forth, relax that lower back. And then bring both feet onto the mat. So we're moving now from the hips to the knees. Bring the right foot up towards the ceiling. Flex that foot. Now this is the same movement that we did with our elbows. This time we bring the heel down towards the hip, moving slowly, and then moving it slowly back up towards the ceiling. Slowly heel comes down toward the hip, and then straighten the leg, bend the knee, straighten the leg, and maybe your leg doesn't straighten all the way. That's just a technicality. It may happen and it may not. If it doesn't, then that's okay. Range of motion. Like I mentioned before, with practice you might find that you get a better range of motion with practice. Let's do this one more time. All right, and now we're going to do the puppet move. Release that string, let your foot fall. Bring the foot back up. Let it fall. Tighten the string, bring it back. Loosen the string, let it go. Taking your awareness into your knee joint. Imagine fluids moving through without any, I can't think of the word, nothing there to keep it from moving through. Also, energy in the body is moving through, creating healing. One more time. And let it fall. And right foot comes to the mat. Left foot reaches up towards the ceiling, starting by slowly bringing the heel down toward the hip. Straightening that leg and bending the leg. Straightening the leg and bending the leg. Noticing if you're feeling any sensation in that knee joint. Let's do it one more time. Then the foot comes back up and we release and let it fall. Foot comes up, release and let it fall. Let go of all control. Maybe hard for some of us, not just in yoga practice, but in our lives. Sometimes we have to learn to let go of all the things that we're trying to control. Let's do that 2 more times. And both feet come to the floor. Let both knees drop over to the right side. Bring them back through center, let them drop to the left side. Just going back and forth. Releasing any tension in the lower back. And then bringing those knees back to center. Moving from the knees down to the ankles. So we're going to bring our feet up towards the ceiling. This can also be done if you're not comfortable with your legs in the air like that. If it's bringing too much tension to your body, you can bring your legs onto the floor and do exactly the same thing. So experiment and see where you find the most comfort. So moving into the ankles, let's point the toes and flex. Point, feeling the stretch in the front of the feet and the ankles, and as you flex, it goes down the back of the leg. Pointing and flexing and pointing and flexing. Two more times. And then come back to center. Doing the rotation like we did in our wrists. Let's rotate the ankles, maybe moving in opposite directions. All the way around, making big circles with those toes. And reverse and go in the other direction. And almost there. The only thing that we have left to do is our toes. As we do this, we're going to clench your toes, curl them up, and then we're going to open them out wide. And then curl them and open them up wide, reaching in opposite directions with that big toe and the pinky toe, creating space between all those toes. All right, we made it through all the joints in our body. Bring your feet back down to the mat. From here, we're going to end the practice with Shavasana. Shavasana is the last pose of every yoga practice, and where you find a place where you can be comfortable and totally relaxed in your body. Traditional Shavasana, you bring your legs out long on the mat, about the same width as the mat, and then your hands, palms up, come down to the sides. Just move them out so that they're comfortably laying next to your body. Connecting once again with your breath. And as you continue to lay here, I'm going to take you through a body scan. So continue to lay on the ground. First of all, connecting with your breath. Noticing the inhales and the exhales. Bringing your mind's awareness to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll start with relaxing our toes. Let the toes be soft and relaxed. Relax the top of your foot. Soften the sole of your foot. Release those ankles, letting them fall to the outside of the mat. Scan your lower legs. Soften your calf. Be aware of your shins. Moving your awareness into your knees. Soften your knee joint. Moving up into the upper leg. Release the muscles in your thigh and soften the muscles in your hamstrings. Let go of any tension or sensation in your hips. Let your belly be soft. Let your ribs relax. Soften your lower back. Your upper back, release the shoulder blades. Let the shoulders be heavy. Moving your awareness into the upper arm. Letting it be soft and relaxed. Releasing your elbows. Moving to your forearms, letting them be soft. Relaxing the wrists, the top of the hands, the palm of the hands, and all of the fingers are soft. Move your awareness to the front of your body, relaxing your chest, the front of your neck, the back of your neck. Bring your awareness to your jaw. Let it release. Perhaps your teeth move apart. And let the tongue move away from the top of your mouth. Relax your lips, your cheeks. Let your eyes be heavy in the socket. Soften your temples, your eyebrows, your forehead, and the top of your head. Letting your entire body be soft and relaxed. Perhaps your body is feeling like it's ready to move, or maybe you would like to just stay in Shavasana. Feel free to stay there as long as your body wants to. If you feel like moving, possibly start by wiggling your toes and your fingers. Moving those wrists and ankles. And maybe that head would like to move from side to side. And as your body begins to wake up, roll onto your side. And take a pause there. In that nice, comfortable fetal position. Curled up like a little seed getting ready to sprout. And when your body is ready, move up into a comfortable seated position. Moving at your own pace. There's no rush. Or it's still okay to be in Shavasana if that's what your body is wanting. Come into a comfortable seated position, grounding down through the sits bones, creating a nice, long, tall spine. If you'd like, bring your hands together, rub them together, create a little bit of friction, and let them come to rest in front of your heart center. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring your chin to your chest, finding a place of gratitude. Gratitude for your body, for the time that you took to take care of yourself today. I thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. And may you live with peace. Namaste.